Welcome back to another episode of Real Ass Affirmations. I'm your favorite lifestylist, Chisa Penix Brown, and today I want to come to you with a message that I'm calling shed. Now, when I say shed, I mean just to remove, to take off. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this subject is because I think that not just myself, but some of you out there may realize that you're kind of done with being who you've been already. Like, you're great, you're awesome, you've done some wonderful things, you've accomplished some stuff, and who you've already been is wonderful, but that person's not necessarily helping you to grow further than you are right now. So there is a comfort that happens in who you are right now. And a lot of times people want you to stay in that position because it's comfortable for them too. And a lot of times people don't want you to try something new because maybe they're scared that you fail, or maybe they're scared that you're going to succeed. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the person. And maybe that person is you. Maybe you've been you for so long that it's scary to try to be another version of yourself. But what's happening with me personally, and this may be happening with a lot of you, is that I love who I am. I mean, I think I'm dope. I love the person that I am already, but I can see that there are new things that I just want to do. I can see that there are interests that I have that I want to be able to do on a full-time basis. I can see that what I'm doing now, I could still continue to do. But trying something new, that exploration process, seeing about starting from the bottom and bringing it back up, seeing about just a new territory and trying to make that successful despite all of the success that you've already had is something that takes place when we talk about visualization. Now, for me, I've been visualizing a slightly different life, living in a different city, living in a different country. I've been visualizing having different things to do is my main business. And what I do now could be like a side hustle later on. I've been visualizing a lot of different things, which have led me to the point that lets me understand that it might be time to shed. Now, lobsters, if you don't know, have to shed their shell because what happens is they grow to a certain length, width, and in order for them to stay alive, they have to do what is called molting. And molting is the same thing as shedding. So they literally have to break out of that old shell. And when they do, within the next day or two, because it might take them a day or so to get out of that shell, what you see is that they're bigger than the shell was that was holding them in the first place. Did you see what I said there? They're bigger than the shell that was holding them in the first place. And the thing about this is, when the lobster first comes out of that shell, the lobster is super vulnerable because it's still soft. That outer shell, that exoskeleton that it shed, was the hard part that was keeping all of the bad shit away. Now, once it comes out of that shell, this new skeleton that's on the outside is still soft and it's still vulnerable. But the lobster would die if it stayed in the old shell. So, what I'm telling you is, you might be in a shed season right now. And for me, I'm in a shed season because there is some old shit that I just want to get rid of. And when I started to do something like analyzing, I literally took my visualization to the internet and I went to look up my name. I went to look up the titles, the websites that were associated with me, articles, podcasts, interviews, everything that came up. And I looked at myself and I said, yo, she's dope. I fucks with her. I was thinking that. But then I was like, Is this the title that she wants? Is this who she wants to be going forward? Is there something more that she could be doing that would make me even happier? And when I think about things like that, that is what caused me to say, I'm in a season of shedding right now, of becoming the next me, of becoming, the person that I fully have been developed into with the experiences that I've had. So I want you to visualize. You've probably already had money. You have a great lifestyle. You've probably had some recognition, some accolades. But in this next phase of life, when people introduce you, who do you want to be introduced as? What do you want people to say about you if you're standing there and they're saying, well, this is XYZ person and they do this, or they are this, or they can help you with whatever this thing is? What are those things, right? And I felt like you can be a multi hyphenate. You can have more than one thing that you do and that you're interested in and that you're good at. And so, mind you, I'm going to do a whole nother podcast episode talking about the multi hyphenate. But I just want you to know right now that this may be your season to shed. Because even though you're appreciative of what you have, it doesn't mean that there's not something bigger and better waiting for you. But you need to understand that in that transition, you're going to need to be soft. You're going to need to be malleable. You're going to need some different people around you in order to be able to care for you. You're going to need some different mentors. You're going to need to widen and broaden your perspective because you're changing into a new creature. You're not the same that was inside of that old shell anymore. You have memories, you have fondness, you have connections, but now you're literally going to be able to swim in deeper waters. You're literally going to be able to catch bigger prey. More people are going to see you now. And that is something that I think is really important. So I want you to be, if this is how you feel, in a season of understanding that the softness of shedding is something that you're going to have to get acclimated to. The uncomfortableness of shedding is something that you're going to have to understand is a part of the process that allows you to get to the next level of you. So listen, I don't want to preach too much, but I'm just saying, watch out, because once she sheds, honey, and then she gives you this new version and she comes out shiny and beautiful, she is going to be unstoppable. He is going to be unstoppable. They are going to be unstoppable. But you have to get through this shedding process. And it's not a one-day thing. It's something that's going to take time. Now, for a lobster, it might take a day, it might take 2 days. But for you as a person, as a human being who has already formed so many different connections, and you may not be as confident as you need to be in your next life, or maybe you are confident, but you still have to take time to get to where you need to go to. This shed is coming. So I encourage you to shed. Now, if you've enjoyed this message, please share it with someone else. If you feel like this is you and you are in a shed season, send a message. Let us know. Share this on your timeline. Make sure that you always come back and listen to Real Ass Affirmations.